Hello,
Hi,
everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Iron and Ceramite podcast. My name is John, and as always, I'm joined by Shane. How are you, mate?
I'm good, very good, thank you.
Excellent. And Glenn, you've had a break, but welcome back.
Yes, hello. Never mind the wife just sauntering off in the background.
You're not like me. I throw everybody out.
Oh, she's now been dispatched upstairs, so it's all good.
Yeah,
Although the cat is now run off too. Cool.
nice. Peace at last.
Yeah.
How have you been, though? It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yes, real life got in the way, unfortunately, and
Yeah,
yes, I'm back now to talk about toy soldiers.
excellent. And what a time to come back, because it's been a big old week, hasn't it?
Well, that was definitely a reason why I wanted to get back on here because obviously with the limited understanding as I have currently with the way the system works. Obviously, I've heard some things, I've seen some videos, and I've gone, cool, that sounds good. What's that mean really in comparison to how it's actually working at the minute? So I was hoping you guys would maybe elaborate a little bit on, whilst we've got no real concrete details, there's been enough out there that has made me go, sounds like
Yeah,
changes. I think it sounds like changes, but I'm not 100% sure. So you gents will have to enlighten me on the all of the wonderful news or terrible news as you may have been
Well, there's
told.
definitely changes, but we just don't know
Yeah.
exactly what they're going to look like. We've got a rough idea, but it's all quite mysterious at the minute.
yeah. So I suppose for anyone that is unaware, we're obviously talking about the 11th edition preview and reveal. Right. So that came at Adepticon, which is wrapping up this weekend. I don't know if they've got another day yet to go for the team tournament, but that typically is what they've done for the last couple of years is or the last couple of editions is when GW has announced or done the preview for the next edition. They did it last time out with Leviathan and a very nice cinematic, and they've tried to do it the same this time round. But obviously the cinematic's slightly different. We had as was widely predicted, Blood Angels and Orcs. So a nice throwback to second edition.
Yeah, even we predicted that one.
Yeah. Interestingly, the box because they also did the box art, or at least what we think is the box art, which actually they didn't do for uh, Leviathan. And what was is interesting about it is that it is a update and redo of
Yeah.
the second edition box. So obviously the second edition box, I think it was might not have been John Blanche, but it's very John Blanche inspired artistry on that box. And obviously this time around it's the more grim dark style, but all of the characters are in the same sort of places. All of the the various people that are on there, rather than a Blood Angel captain with a power fist and bolter. I think he's got a shield, but it's otherwise everyone is where they were. So it looked pretty cool. I don't know what you guys felt. What did you think about the artwork?
Because it was so like you say, reminiscent of the old one, I assumed it was a bit of AI trickery to start with, because this is the world we live in. Almost everything you see online now is sort of pinch of salt till I actually see that in the flesh. But yeah,
Yeah,
because I've seen it from enough official channels and enough places, it was like, yeah, that looks good. Plus, Games Workshop are getting so good with their cinematic trailers. You
Mm.
said about
yeah.
like the last edition. I think they've done it for the previous couple of editions because didn't they have it for the Necron box as well?
They've had they might well have done. They've also had a lot of
Yeah, because
Necron stuff generally.
I think there was like sisters and stuff, or maybe that was a
Yeah,
sisters Necron box. But yeah, they've been doing it for a good number of years now, and it always looks so good. You kind of
yeah,
think, can I have a game of this? Oh well, yeah. Obviously they made Space Marine 2, but yeah, um, yeah, they've just got very very good at uh at their teaser stuff now.
yeah, yeah. It is very good. As I said, the box art looks pretty special. It'll be interesting to see what they put in the kit. Like people are already like, you know,
Cardboard Dreadnought.
Well, I've still got the cardboard dreadnought and the cardboard terrain that you got in there as well.
Yeah.
But I think we know there's Orc Boys, we know there's new intercessors, so we
Mhm.
knew that was coming. If we just take the box as a thing, we know there'll probably be grots in there. Um, they talk about like maybe an ancient because there's obviously a guy holding a banner in the background, a couple of guys holding
Oh, well,
banners.
there's always an ancient. The ancient is the new lieutenant.
Yeah, so we might get them. I don't think we're going to get any speeders, although that's been obviously because it was in the animation. That's obviously teased as something that's going to get redone for this edition. And then there is like a slightly heavier set intercessor as well. So
I think possibly a lot of talk of updated Vanguard vets,
yes, that was the other. That they
chaplain.
were
The
they were
chaplain's very heavily featured as well. So I would say
yeah
there'll be
they
a
were
chaplain in there too.
they were in the trailer as well, weren't they? Because they said obviously we got this edition, we got the updated Stern Guard.
Yeah.
So Vanguard would be a good shout, and obviously they've got the basis with the jump pack intercessors, which almost every Space Marine Army tournament is running at least one squad of those. So you could see how easily people would slot in some Vanguard vets as well.
Yeah, and there's got to be the obligatory, and there's this unit
Yeah,
brackets Infernus Marines. The a squad like the people look at and go,
yeah,
well, yeah, I'm getting that for free basically. So
yeah. I do wonder what that squad will be because I'm trying to
there's
think what
nothing that
they're missing.
stood out that was like really weird or different that made you go, don't really know what that is because usually there'd be something to make you go, oh, I can kind of see what that is, kind of see what that is. But there was the Infernus Marines, they were, yeah, that's very different to anything that's kicking around. So we
Yeah,
shall just wait and see.
I'm sure there'll be plenty more teasers for both the 11th edition and then also the still the end of this edition campaign that's ongoing because obviously we alongside this cinematic just was it the week before we had the cinematic of Yarrick,
Yep.
Yeah.
which was obviously pretty good as well. Like as I said, their launch cinematics are they're pretty good. The Yarrick one was also quite enjoyable, so it's nice to see him back. Off-screen death was obviously much all rumor as he was always going to be back anyway, right?
That's the rule of film, though, isn't it? If you didn't see them die, they didn't die.
Yeah,
I love. I seen a post somewhere. It's like Yarrick, crinkly old man, comes back before perpetual demigod Vulcan has actually reappeared. Like, yeah, I see where you're going. There's a couple of Primarchs knocking around as well that could have come back since, yeah, some old guy who potentially died 200 years ago is back
they
because the orcs believe he's there.
we might still get that Primarch or other moment because they kept old what's his name Lionel Johnson very under wraps until the very last minute, and suddenly it was like here's the lion, and everyone that was a surprise.
Yeah, he wasn't exactly the one that everyone sort of assumed was going to come back.
No, no,
Yeah,
but I suppose yeah, I mean it's relatively easy from a lore point of view because at least everyone knew where the lion was.
yeah, true.
There's no writing anything. He was just having a bit of a snooze, a bit like Gilliman as well, right? Everyone knew where they were. It's just
Yeah.
like, right, how do we bring them back? Right, they just kind of woke up.
Everyone knows where Ross is. He's in the warp, but it's a bit
This is
vague,
true,
but it's where he is.
and but that's where Korax is as well. He's
Yeah.
he's in the warp. Like there's places that they're at. But anyway, that's the cinematics and the rumors, and that was all good. But on to your point, Glenn,
Oh,
about
good
the
God.
the changes.
Yep.
What elements we think are changing, what's been dropped, what's been hinted at the moment. I don't know where do we want to start? What
Well, should we?
do you want
I've
to
got the
run?
article. Should we go through the article and do it bit by bit?
Let's
Yep.
let's
Sounds
do
good.
that.
Okay.
Has anybody paid attention to the messages that have just come through?
Let's see. We said hello to someone. Craft Hammers. I wasn't a fan
Oh
of the
no, no,
cinematic.
no. The group message.
Oh no, what's
Oh,
happened?
what's the group message? Oh, Dave's coming in. Bloody hell.
Yeah,
Ah,
so
Spoilers.
wow, what a treat.
Well,
yes.
but I tell you what, just for fun, let's just end it here. Oh dear. Oh, we'll give it a second then. We'll wait for Dave.
Yeah, we'll get into those bits.
So,
Okay,
well, while we're waiting for him, then Iron Warriors / Defiler go on pre-sale next week.
yes, let's talk Defiler quickly. That's a
Let's
good
do that.
shout.
And I made a promise in the house that I wouldn't buy anything till the 11th edition box set came out. And I didn't expect the Defiler to be coming around so quickly.
So who's buying it for you so that you can keep your promise?
Well, there's a really good thing called credit card. So no one has to know for a little while.
Yeah, well, yes. So going back to the Defiler, obviously they've updated the model, so it's got all of the new aesthetics. They've now leaked, not leaked. They've kind of said about the rules, like in not a leak. They've previewed them. That's
Yeah, I was going to say
the right
it wasn't a
preview.
leak. It was they put out the actual deals list.
The official preview. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I obviously being one of my factions being Thousand Suns, I ignored the Chaos Space Marine one immediately. I know they've got their dark packs and stuff like that. I don't know the rules enough for those. And went immediately to the Thousand Suns rule. Before I go on that, John, what was the Death Guard one? I'm sure you did
I
the
think the
same
Death
thing.
Guard one is the same. So I think if the Defiler shoots you, you lose the benefit of cover. I think that has stayed the same.
Okay. Was there not? Did you not get a fact? There's a faction rule though, isn't there? Let
Well,
me have a
I
look.
think that's it, isn't it? Because you've got
No.
yours will
Ah,
be
so
different to mine.
no. So yeah, the Death Guard one in your shooting phase after the model is shot, select one enemy unit until the end of the phase. That unit cannot have the benefit of cover. That's
Yeah,
right.
and that's how the Death Guard one runs at the moment.
Yeah, the Thousand Suns one is each time you target this unit with the Fire Overwatch strategy, you score hits on a 5. But if those attacks targets an enemy within 9 inches of one or more Psyker unit from your army, it's on a unmodified 4. So
I
basically,
like
you
yours
can.
better.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. So like you can
Oh,
effectively the chances are you're going to be overwatching something that's going to be running towards a Psyker unit. So you're going to be hitting on 4s on Overwatch. I think
yeah.
the only other unit in the game that is better than that for Overwatch is the the little Hexmark destroyer in the Necrons.
Yeah. It's all on
Um,
2s, isn't it?
yeah, he just does it on his normal ballistic skill.
Outrageous.
So it's yeah, but that before I read that rule, I was like, I wasn't going to get a Defiler. Didn't have any interest in it. It wasn't, but I was like, oh, it's actually quite a good rule. So I don't know. I don't know how many. I don't know how many points they're going to be.
Well, at the moment, it's 160. The Death Guard one is. I'm sure they all run about the same.
Yeah, because like
So
I could run nearly. I could. You could get close to 3 Defilers for the cost of Magnus. So
well,
like,
what are you waiting for?
like, I mean, the thing is, on some of the the various channels and socials where like I follow the Thousand Sun side of things, they people are seriously considering running 2 instead of Magnus and then
Yeah.
getting another squad of Marines in because Magnus is what 430, I think. So it's a big old cost.
Yeah.
And again, I think the Defiler's rule is pretty good.
Yeah. Extra
And
movement as well. That stops a lot of problems because
yeah,
it helps with the massive base.
yeah, oh, yeah, indeed, yeah, because it can now go through because it's scuttling, isn't it? So it now
Yeah.
can go through terrain.
12
So
inches and it can just go through terrain. So
Go for other models as well.
as long as you
as
don't land on top of them, yeah.
Yeah, because it's got the Walker like keyword as well, so it's allowed to do that. The World Eaters one looks quite good as well. So at the end of your opponent's movement phase, you can select one enemy unit that's been set up on the battlefield within 12 of this model, and you can either shoot at that unit or declare a charge against the unit.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, you if you set up anywhere near the World Eaters Defiler, it's either going to shoot you or charge you.
That's someone trying to sell you 2 Defilers, isn't it? So you got one of each.
Yeah, again, if you had them in the like, if you ran 2 of them as well, though, then there's more chance of someone, rapid ingressing or deep striking close enough to them.
Yeah.
Because you just run them into the middle of the board and then just
eat this.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gross.
Yeah, the old Emperor's Children one's not particularly good, but then I think that seems to be what they're doing with Emperor's Children at the moment with all of that.
That seems a codex generally.
Yeah.
Problem.
Yeah, it's each time this model makes an attack that targets an enemy unit that's not below half strength, add 1 to the hit roll. So it's not bad, but it's not just all right.
It's fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, a bit like the Death Guard one, right? It's just fine.
Yeah. Yours is definitely one of the better ones. The World Eaters one's good, but ours is fine. You just got to remember to do it in sequence.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things, because there's not a lot. Like your Thousand Suns, there's a lot of sequencing going on. So it's very rare that I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Maybe that's why I'm losing so much.
I mean, maybe maybe that's the issue. Right. Is Dave winding us up? Is this a wind up?
He might be. Should we crack on and he can join in? And
he's probably watching along, just chuckling away to himself.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because they dropped the summary, didn't they? Then they dropped a new 40k Your Queries Answered thing.
They did.
Tidy it up a little bit. So I think the main thing here is it doesn't really explain much. They're making it a unified experience. So no matter what you're playing, it feels like it's immersive. So I think they're changing it from whether you're playing narrative or you're just playing a bit of a fluff game, then they're a bit closer together in reality. So whether you're going competitive or playing with friends, the rules aren't so vague, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So how that's like the first really vague update they gave us.
Because it's not much of an update, is it? It's more of a, and I think they always try and do that. And some of the other changes that we'll come to, there's definitely them trying to make it more narrative.
Yeah,
but we'll get to
that. That's like the most vaguest thing. But the most important part is codexes are staying. So we're not losing codexes, but they're introducing allegedly over 70 new detachments across the game.
Yeah, so they said, because the way they worded that was that they weren't all necessarily new though.
No,
they
updated.
Were. Yes, so some will get entirely new. You'll get entirely new detachments, but by the sound of it, some of it will only be updated rather than entirely new, which again makes sense, right? There's only so many they can do. A question on the codexes. I know we're gonna, as I said, that we're gonna keep the codex.
Yeah,
we'll keep the codexes. Is that the same as like? Is it more that they're gonna keep them, like as in the ones that are that your codex from this edition is valid until the next codex in 11th comes out?
Yeah, that's the way it always is.
Right, that's how I do it. So,
unless they have to like redo everything with the indexes when they change massively, your codex usually will transfer over until they get round to redoing your army again.
Yeah, because that's happened in other editions where they've maintained it and then you just keep using it until you get your new codex.
Yeah.
It's weird because it says like for the most part your data sheets will work the same, but there'll be some changes, so everything will feel fresh. So I don't know if they're just going to say we're just tweaking, like we're going to do a big data slate all of a sudden. Maybe that's what the initial feel is going to be, like because one of the interesting things when they're talking about data sheets and stuff, it says your characters will no longer lose their
Yes.
leadership abilities. So if you wipe a squad of Death Shroud and that Lord of Contagion is still standing there and charges you again, he's still getting sustained
And
and
Lance.
Lance. So
Yeah. So I think the word in there, the nuance is quite interesting because it's any abilities they had at the start of the battle. So I think you wouldn't, for example, be able to run a or how I think they'll do it is you wouldn't be able to run a Lord of Contagion, get that bonus if you just ran him on his own.
no, absolutely, yeah.
But if he's leading a unit at the start of the battle, he then keeps those abilities even if the rest of the unit gets wiped.
That's how I'd understand it to be.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's quite interesting. And then obviously they're saying the way secondaries are going to be or the way scoring is going to be is going to depend on what kind of army you take.
Yeah.
So if you run an army that benefits from charging in and killing, that's how you're going to score. But if you run a gunline army that benefits from staying away from everybody and killing, that's how you're going to score, which is quite weird to see how that's going to work.
It does fit if they're bringing the narrative in the match a lot closer, because if those armies, if that is the style of the army, that is what they are going to narratively be trying to do. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see how it works, because I'm just seeing how the scoring system sort of works now.
Yeah.
So with the changes of that, I want to come back to the 70 plus detachments. What does that actually mean? What is a detachment now? Or is that not an actual thing?
Yeah, so right
To
now
me, I'm thinking old style. So detachment as in like force or detachment thing. What's a detachment at the minute?
yeah, so detachment at the minute is more like a so it's like a mini theme for the army. So like for example, with say Necrons, I could pick like the Star Shatter Arsenal detachment. Now that
Right.
detachment is aimed at giving benefits to vehicles. So it's very much about if you take vehicles, because all vehicles in that detachment get the assault keyword. So it's all about if you pick loads of vehicles in that detachment,
Yeah.
they will get a benefit. There are other bits and all of the stratagems lean into that as well.
So that's your 5 or 6 different things in the codex that are kind of like your gladius, your
That's exactly it.
yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Completely forgot what the word for those actually were. So yeah, that makes more sense. I'm less excited about detachments now than I was then.
Yeah, and when they say there'll be over 70 at launch, I don't think it's not like an updated number. That's probably about where we're at now because most detachments
about 6 an army, isn't it?
New ones.
Yeah, like most detachments have about 6-ish. Like that is still going to be the right number. So I think that's it. What is interesting is that they're saying I think what's going to be interesting is where they've said about how many potentially you can have for an army. So if you're running a bigger list or you're running a bigger game, you can take more than one detachment.
Yeah.
So you then get the benefit of potentially both detachments. But I don't know how that. To me, I don't know how that's going to work because that becomes a bit more complicated.
Then I suppose your benefits of that detachment only apply to the stuff that is in that detachment. So it wouldn't be that complicated.
It depends.
It would only be
how far they
complicated
go.
if there was the same stuff in both detachments, then you lose track of Oh, that intercessor squad's from that one, and that intercessor squad's from
Yeah,
that way. It's getting that, but it's getting oh shit. Wait, oh, they've gone. Yeah.
yeah, and I can, you get if they do if they do it the same way they do now, where running a certain detachment unlocks certain stratagems,
Mm.
that's where it's a lot. It could be a lot of admin if it operates exactly the way it does now, which is why I don't think that will be the case. But I am then interested to understand how they're going to do it, because it might
Might
be. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
it might then feed into one of the other things I've said about that you can't stack things. So
Yes,
Mm.
you you can have all these various stratagems floating around, but they can't stack with other things. So
yeah,
just keeps it nice and clean across the board.
yeah. It may be that, which would be again that would keep it clean. So maybe there's that approach.
And that's
Um,
quite an interesting one as well, because I've seen a lot of people don't like the amount of options you have to use strats and stuff. But that could change a lot of stuff. Like the example, I can't remember who I saw, is like, but that if you pay to auto pass someone's morale to keep an objective, that's it. They're not doing anything. They're not killing, like getting any buffs to kill, or if you need to keep someone alive on that objective, there's no CP reroll, is there? Potentially, but I don't know if it's for the turn or the phase that lasts. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, because what they were saying that you can't stack. Yeah, single units can no longer have multiple stratagems stacked on them in any one phase.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just
I
the
see what you
phase. If it's
mean.
just the phase, that's not too bad then.
Yeah, because you would auto pass them and then you'd
Mm.
still be able to use it in phase. But what you wouldn't be able to do is like what is it like the one of the Thousand Suns examples where you can on that unit I'm going to pay a CP to put their bolters as psychic weapons, and then
Yeah.
I'm going to use another CP that means all psychic weapons have devastating wounds or something like that. You wouldn't necessarily, that interaction might not work.
I like that one.
I mean, I've never had the command points to actually ever run it. Like I
It
thought in
feels
our
like
last game, I thought in our last game I might be able to do it, but then I was running the wrong detachment for it, so it didn't matter. I was like, I'm sure I've got a strat for this. I didn't. So yeah.
Oh man, what else have we got? Oh,
So we had
three rejected markers away.
yeah, we had the unified approach, the army with all of the detachments. That will be interesting. We'll see, and characters not losing their abilities. That's good.
Yeah,
Objective markers. This is one of the narrative changes, right? So
yeah,
we've gone from we're now going from like right, we're fighting over a point on the map, and you've got to be within 3 inches of it. To we're now going to be fighting over a piece of terrain. Like that's where we've got to get to
yeah.
to score points or whatever else. So I don't. I like to be honest. I don't think this really matters too much, other than you're not gonna have the little round markers anymore. I would hang on to them because I suspect that might come back anyway.
Yeah.
And Glenn, you might remember from editions past. I'm sure this used to be the way it was from an objective. It was not that. I'm sure there's been editions where it's just like a feature of the battle as opposed to a circular area, but I may have misremembered it.
Can't really remember features.
Mm,
I remember points that were
yeah,
mysterious objectives, so you then had to roll to determine what each of the objectives were.
I
That
remember
was
those. Yeah,
with a little skull, and you had the dice, and yeah, you always ended up knocking the dice over and arguing about if it was minus whatever to your charge or plus one to your ballistic skill or whatever random crap it was that you ended up rolling. Yeah, I don't remember terrain features, but yeah, I think narratively and visually it will look a lot better and sound a lot better.
yeah,
I can't honestly see it making that much of a difference gameplay. It's still an area that is
yeah,
the footprint of the building is going to just be slightly different than the footprint of the 6-inch saucer that you're putting down. You know,
That's
it's
it.
minimal change.
I think the where this is going to be more
I
safe.
think it's to sell terrain.
Yeah. That's right. That they'd never do that, surely.
No.
I think where it's going to have the most impact will be tournament play. I think that's the only thing it will have there, because more from a tournament organizer point of view is it's like, right, it's really easy with discs. Everyone can put it down. They're all uniform. Everything's the same. It's much easier to run 100 games with objective markers. Much harder to source like 100 burnt out tanks that are consistent. You could do it. You absolutely could do it, but there's probably more to it than just a flat circle that everyone's got. Because a lot of tournament organizers, they were like, you turn up with your objective markers.
Yeah.
If they're doing that, obviously, suddenly you open it up to a lot more random chance, like people turning up with, oh, this little barrel is my objective marker, versus someone else would be like, this blown out tank is my objective. It opens it up to more inconsistency, and that's where I think the tournament scene will very quickly house rule it, like whether it's the UK events or whatever it's called, ITC, all of those guys. I think really quickly, once they've got a better idea of what it will be, they'll house rule it, and it'll be like, right, for this tournament, these are the terrain features.
Or maybe there will be distinctive, specific terrain features that will come out either from Games Workshop or from a third party, or that they will be not so much a specific size, but there will be a sort of a guideline of a footprint of a building in the rule book that people go, okay, this is the footprint they recommend for where your objectives are, because like you say, it could be something that is the size of a Terminator base versus something the size of a Fortress Redemption. Like massive variation between the things. So maybe might even be a case of the bigger the footprint of the building, the more the objective is worth, or things like that. We don't know enough about the rules yet to sort of go, this was going to work, this is not going to work. There's a lot to come out, and
yeah.
I do think,
as someone who's only played with round objective markers, I think it's quite interesting to see a change like that, because it's going to be a new way of playing, I guess. So hopefully it's a good change, but be interesting for the least. And then when they inevitably change it back in a year's time because it hasn't worked, then at least we could say we tried.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I think it will work. As you said, for the narrative side of things, I think it'll be fine. Right?
Yeah.
I think it'll be. It's the complexity of tournament side that I'll be interested to see how they come up with it. But it will be interesting nonetheless. And as I said, I think Games Workshop will obviously have terrain packs ready to go. I have no doubt, as part of the edition. It may also be that they, like they did with second edition, in this edition they also include some terrain.
They've done it in multiple boxes.
They have done it before, yeah. Like, so that's not out of the realms of possibility. And then everyone that's 3D has got a 3D printer or a friend that 3D prints is also going to be rubbing their hands together, being like, brilliant. Let's make some more terrain. So
you're going to be fuming when you buy the Armageddon box and you get one squad of intercessors, one squad of boys, 2 characters, and 5 sets of ruins.
It might not be ruins, might be craters or something like that.
L-shaped ruins.
Yeah, exactly. But that was I saw that comment somewhere else. It's like, okay, this edition we're not standing on circles anymore. We're standing on rectangles. Fine, fair enough.
You got to stand on something.
Yeah. So,
maybe the solution for the tournament organizers is just everyone show up with your little round templates you used to, but just glue some trees to it.
Yeah, that's
just
what I think.
Forest springing up across the first millennium.
That's exactly what will happen. It'll be that, like, just we're going to make it immersive and stuff like that. That keep that template just so we know who's scoring what. Yeah. But we will see. So that was an interesting one. I get why they're doing it, for narrative and for terrain selling purposes. So we'll see how that goes. But also with terrain, that was the next change, which was the ability to hide units in terrain.
Yes.
Until they make themselves known, as it were.
Till you join the battle.
Yeah, I think this is a bit like effectively giving units in terrain lone op. Like lone operative keyword rules for this edition, in case you've not come across it, is that any unit that's got the lone operative keyword can't be targeted to be shot unless you're within a certain distance. Some of them have 12 inches, some of them have 18 inches. It depends on the character or the thing or the lone op. Like, for example, John's Demon Prince in Death Guard, if he's within 3 inches of an infantry,
infantry,
he then gets lone operative and can't be targeted unless you're within 12. Yeah, 12. So I think it's going to be like that, but for units that are in terrain.
It's a way I took it was until you shoot or
make yourself known.
Make yourself known, as long as you stay without 15 inches away, which I thought was a very random number.
Yeah.
Am I making the 15 inches up, or is that the number they've stated?
I saw that somewhere. I can't remember. It's not in this article, but I definitely saw on one of the videos talking about it. 15 inches.
Is that because you sort of think, right, 6-inch move takes me to 9 inches, 9 inches charge. That's you're deep striking in 9 inches away. It's the most universal move is sort of 6 inches, so maybe that's where they've gone. 15 inches.
If infiltrating stays as infiltrating is, that's going to be quite handy when you stick a unit of poxwalkers or whatever you've got, flayed ones on an objective marker on your natural expansion. Like that, you have to go get them because they're scoring points that you can't do anything about, unless it says like you're on an objective, so you've joined the battle. That changes things slightly. That unit that's hiding behind it that you could maybe get a few shots off of. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I quite like it. I think it feels more narrative if you've got a unit that's snuck into a piece of terrain. And is just laying low until it's ready. I think that's quite good.
I'm thinking like things like your non-shooting units, so things like your close combat oriented NIDs and things like that. All the little gribblies get the chance to get up the board, before they're just sort of picked off willy-nilly by whatever sees them. Gives the combat side of stuff a little bit more of a chance to close that gap before they're inevitably shot off the board.
What's that new knight that's come out that can basically cross the board in one turn and just kill everything that it looks at?
Yeah,
that annihilates that rule straight away.
Was it the Cerastus? I think it was the Cerastus, because I faced that knight and it's it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Gray. It is going to favour combat a little bit, and there are other changes that they've done to that close combat. Because someone else, some other channel or article I've read somewhere was talking about that actually we've got to kind of wait to see how the points are balanced and things like that. Because the 10th edition is very, for me anyway, it's felt much more of a shooty edition compared to 9th, which was a bit more combat. I wouldn't say it was balanced, but it was maybe a bit more combat orientated. 10th has definitely felt really shooty. So maybe they're trying to adjust that balance and make it a bit more even for shooting and close combat.
I felt like it's been very shooty for very many editions now. I maybe going back to 8th.
Yeah.
I think it's been quite shooty for a long time. I'd like the combat armies to get a little bit more of a go on, off you go, do
Sorry.
your thing.
Have
No,
any of
it's
you played World Eaters recently? They're doing
I
pretty
have, yeah.
well.
Yeah, they are pretty good. But alongside that, like I suppose the point, like there would be a time where you'd take a World Eaters list where you'd have nothing shooty in it at all. But
Yeah.
now, like all of their stuff, even like their Predators and their Forge Fiends and stuff like that, they've given everything rapid fire. So
Mm.
it's like run up and get close, but then still shoot lots.
Yeah, yeah.
So they've still given even the choppy armies a lot more access to shooty, as it were. Even the orcs, right? Like with their bubble chuckers and their more Daka and stuff like that. They're a lot of the armies that previously you'd be like, I don't need to run any guns at all. I could just be all chop.
Yeah.
As they've given them more access to that artillery. But we will see how it balances, right?
Yeah. So on combat, so one of the things they've said is that looks like they're taking away the ability to get a unit to charge and swamp a rhino. So then you basically lock that unit in the rhino. They can't disembark. So I think if you charge a rhino full of marines with a cheap unit, they
That's
can
it.
get out before you finish your charge.
Yeah.
And accept the fight that's coming.
oh, I've missed that.
Yeah.
Didn't see that.
There are because we talked stratagem, so I think combat is the next one anyway. So they've changed a few different bits and pieces, like the order and the sequencing of pile-in and consolidation moves. We don't know. I haven't seen what that is actually going to look like yet, in any official capacity, but that's fine. I kind of get it. I think there'll probably be more, or maybe it'll be more of a uniform. Because at the moment, the way it works is you charge in, and then you activate unit by unit. So you'd be like, right, this unit is charged, and now they will pile in. And then the next unit along, let's say that. So, for example, you charge in, it's all a bit of a melee. The first unit you charge in kills its target, and it meant the second unit you charged in is now no longer in combat with that same unit because maybe you multi-charge, but actually your pile in would bring you into combat with another unit. Under the current rules, you could make that pile in move as part of your activation and then fight that other unit that wasn't the target of your original charge. Whereas what they might do is they might change it so the pile in is like uniform all at once. So like rather than activating a unit by unit, you'd go, right, you've done your charge and you've moved all your units in.
Pile-in phase.
Now, now you do your pile-in phase and everything piles in. And then if you do kill something and that unit is now not in combat, that's just what happens.
But they're saying as well, now you don't have to say, you pick your unit you want to charge, but you don't have to declare it. You roll first. And if you didn't make it, you didn't make it. And if you made longer than you wanted to, you can go somewhere else.
Yes, because you don't, so that's you select the target for a charge after you've made the roll. So you're literally just rolling for distance rather than I'm going to charge that unit. You just like, this unit is going to charge. Let's roll the dice. It charges 10 inches. That's enough to get me into these three. I'm going to pick that one.
Yeah.
And if it's not enough to get into any of them, then you just fail the charge.
Another thing that I read or saw was they're saying just because if you charge multiple units in, you don't get the benefit of the charge to fight first on everyone. So you might have, if you do like 3 or 4 charges, it might just alternate naturally. So, like when you're in the fight, if you've already got a few people in combat and then you start alternating, that might just go, you charge the unit, so you start. If you charge 3 units, you better pick the right one you want to start the fight with.
This one is the most interesting one because I think they're trying to balance so it's a tough one because I don't mind that charging units fight first.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think that makes sense. I think where they're struggling is units that have the fights first ability.
Yeah.
So the Lion, for example, has fights first. take him as an example. So if you charge into him, obviously both units have fights first, and in that instance, the defending player gets to activate first. So they will be like, right, I'm going to fight with the lion. The lion then, attacks and kills the unit that charged into them or something like that. And you're like, oh, that feels bad. If you didn't know he had fights first, but like, oh, what have I done there? And then you just go back to your standard, right? Now all units that fights first. One of the things they intimated or I read about was that it'll be like, right, if you've got a fights first unit, like the opposite side, actually it doesn't override the player that charged. They still get to fight first. So let's say I charge 2 units into the lion. My first squad that charged in, I go, right, they're going to fight. They fight. If they don't kill the lion, then rather than it then go to my next unit, he then gets to fight. So it's more like an interrupt, like using the interrupt strat rather than how the fights first works now. But all of that is, that's all rumor and innuendo, right? Because we won't know until I actually confirm what the rule is.
It's what we do best, make it up.
That's it. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Do you want to see I've got the codex already. Do you want to see it? I'm halfway through writing it.
the codex and the rule.
I was going to say, did Dave write it?
Yeah. Yeah. If I roll the dice, one's automatically hit.
If I roll 3, I win.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That unit's got a 2-up save and re-rolls once.
Speaking of Dave, for those that have been on the edge of their seats, the prick ain't coming. He was winding us up. He's at his in-laws. He thought he was being funny.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh, turns out he wasn't. Oh, I see.
Well, we misread anyway. So we have a little thing we like to do where if you say I'm doing something. So I said in the chat before we started, I'm logging on. He actually said, hi, I'm logging on. It's a stupid joke.
Oh, I see.
And we've misread it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
I just thought you couldn't type. Oh.
Yeah. It's our own fault, but he's still a prick.
Yeah. And he's welcome anytime.
Except tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, Dave knew Jason and his rules that he would write. Obviously, that I think that was pretty much it for everything. We talked about the disembark.
So
that was good.
For combat, yeah.
We go back to disembark.
Yeah.
I like the fact you can drive up in a vehicle, get out, and charge. Granted, at battle shock, but everybody can just pile out of a vehicle now straight into combat.
Well, I don't know how that works. I don't know if it means you could charge your rhino in and then get out. I think it's if you charge.
No, I think it's the way I took it was you can just bundle your rhino up, guys jump straight out, straight into combat. In your turn, not as a reactive thing.
I mean, if that's the case, that's no one's ever going to run a Land Raider again.
Yeah, because the assault ramp rule would.
But
then
I'm assuming the assault ramp would negate the battle shock because you're charging into combat.
Yeah,
battle shocked.
Yeah, I didn't think of it that way. I thought it was a defensive move. I didn't realize. I didn't think.
I took it as an offensive move. Maybe I've misinterpreted really, really badly, but if not, I've never understood for years and years and years. Doesn't matter if it's a chimera, doesn't matter if it's a rhino, doesn't matter if it's anything. Why can't you just get out and at least stumble into combat?
Yeah,
you got to get out, stand there with your dick in your hand for a turn, get shot at, or charged, and then charge into combat. It never made sense. So yeah.
Well, that's an interesting take, actually. I've not seen anyone.
Too bad they've killed rhinos in the Space Marine Codex, but you know.
I mean,
yes.
That changes the definition of fun bus, though, doesn't it?
For the Chaos armies, yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was going to say if that's how it runs, because obviously, we'll have to wait and see because it's the way they've worded it very carefully is like in some circumstances.
Yeah.
So that to me says that certain things have to be in play for that to happen.
Yeah, if you're going second, you get to get out whenever you want and do what you want.
Maybe
If you went first, you're screwed.
It could even be things like the detachments, though. Like,
Yeah.
because if you are like in a choppy detachment, then maybe again, you'd never know. You'd have to wait for the rule. But if you were in like a choppy detachment, then suddenly that unlocks that special circumstance, and then that makes a lot more sense. Whereas if you were in a more shooty type of detachment, they're like, well, no, you don't get any bonuses for running out your rhino, because why would you want to do that?
Oh, I'll tell you what, we've talked saying detachment. What we missed is they're saying that you can run mixed detachments as well.
We did briefly.
Yeah,
we did briefly
which is
talk about it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
then that might negate. Yeah, you got one rhino in the choppy detachment. That's the one that's going to get out. That's interesting.
it will be interesting to see how they make that work. But it'll be all right. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing was that they did a light touch on the app itself.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting.
You're going to be able to look at your opponent's rules while you're playing. So,
yeah.
Are they going to say subscribe to Warhammer Plus and get everything, but buy the edition codex and one army codex, and you can just see everything? Or because how are they going to say you can only look at it while you're playing a game?
Well, I would say that's the bit just before that is how I think they'll manage it. Is that they've built in they're going to build in game scoring.
Yeah.
So, you know, like right now when you go to a tournament, most people use what's it called, tabletop tactics.
Yeah.
For scoring, because it's got all of your secondaries, it's got all the stuff like that. I wonder if, you know, like how they've got the command bunker mode in the app, so that when you're in a battle, you go to that mode, and it makes it easier just to find all your data sheets. I wonder if you set up like the tabletop tactics, if you were in the app and you set up a game where it's like me versus you, and I put in all your details and all of my details are in there, so it knows I'm fighting a Death Guard player.
Okay.
That then will be like, right, and now it unlocks the data sheets.
You share lists that way.
I bet. I wonder if that's how it will work.
I was thinking it's going to be some kind of like okay, that's my list, QR code type situation.
Could be. Yeah.
Boom. Right. That's my list transferred over to you. You can see, because then it stops you seeing the whole codex, or yeah. It'd be some kind of sharing thing with your opponent, rather than just being able to look at everything.
Yeah, because they still want to put it. They want to put it behind the paywall, right? So they're not going to want.
Yes.
And it will probably be one of those things that's like it might even be like a limited paid feature, right? Because you can use the app for free. Right now, you don't have to have Warhammer Plus. But if you do have Warhammer Plus, you get you can build loads of lists rather than be limited to a number of lists. I wonder if it will be like, you know, if you want to share, or if you want to do scoring, both of you need to have a paid version of the app, or however
the gaming version, or the budget version, or the premium version.
Exactly. Yeah. If I was tabletop tactics, I wouldn't be wouldn't be too happy about it, though, because as I said, their app is very nice. So it'll be interesting to see if what happens to them.
Yeah, but Shane, do you remember Battlescribe?
I do, and I feel really sad every time I go to look at it occasionally, and it's like, nope, it's really dead now. There's one that's still going. That's new recruit, I think it is. But the reason that's still active and supported is because you have to, if you want to do board game simulator on your PC where you can play 40k, but online, your army lists only ever work if they're in new recruit. So that works from that point of view. But that's it. Otherwise, I don't know any other third-party apps now that are really.
In all fairness, the Games Workshop one is he's very good for what he needs to be. So, and if they
Yeah.
do a good scoring system and gaming side of it, then I could see it becoming sort of like the official rather than the official unofficial one that's out there. It is very good, but yeah,
Yeah, I think
their search engine to be a little bit more pinpointed, specific, because we've tried looking for things that are quite game specific that you cannot find. Like you have to go down a bit of a wormhole of here's a loosely linked rule, and then try and work your way through it to find sometimes things that are quite simple. We've stumbled across, haven't we?
Yeah, it was the last game. There's the example of what turn you have to have all of your units on the table. Right now, in tournament play, it has to be by the third turn. So you have to have like your deep strike and your reserve units have to have been on the board by the end of the third turn. Otherwise, they're not allowed in and counters destroyed. But it's not in. If you search for it in the app, it doesn't come up. What you have to do is go to the tournament companion download, and the rule is in there. And it's just like that. Oh, come on. Like the downloads are in the app. It should be something that you're able to find. But
yeah,
it was what it was. We found it in the end. But it will be interesting to see. As I said, I think the 10th edition app is much better than the 9th edition app that they had. So that will be good. It will be whether or not, as I said, they get it right, and they get it right for 11th in scoring.
Yeah.
If they do, it'd be quite good.
let's be fair, they've got enough money to throw at it now, so I think their digital department is it's not what it was in like 9th, 10th edition time. So yeah, they've got a decent team up there working on it. This is not me being a fanboy. This is just me being realistic and going. I think they've been doing it long enough now that they'll nail it.
I think
because
as well, like,
they will have seen
yeah,
the other third party stuff that's out there and gone, hang on a minute, that's for our game. We're going to do that, but we're going to do it better.
Well, if 10th edition was the death of Battlescribe, then maybe 11th edition is the death of Tabletop Tactics. And then 12th edition may be the depth of like things like Warhammer and other things like that. They're just killing off the competition.
What Warhammer though has been going for that's been around for a while now. That might be
that's a supplementary.
GW don't like it, do they? They don't like their rules being out for free. So there's going to be a way, like if they put it behind like a cheapy paywall where you can get it all.
Yeah,
they're assassins.
I don't know. I think the thing with Warhammer that has, is that it's a Russian website. So.
Right, fair enough. I'll take it back.
I think that they don't give a shit. I think that probably helps. But right. Anyway, that was everything we know as of right now about the new 40K and some of the wild guesses and theories we've got about it.
Yeah. But before let's quickly go back to the chat, because Crafthammer's been kind enough to watch along and comment. So obviously not a massive fan of the cinematic trailer. I think I liked it because it's just like, it's nice to see orcs and space marines kill each other. But I see his point where he said the previous story was told better. And I do think the Tyrannid versus Ultramarine one was set out nicer because you saw a unit displayed quite clearly. Like a new unit came out, like the Psychophage was a big one. The Terminators were revealed in a big way. And this one was a bit more, other than the jump chaplain, after he was done talking, it was just a bit of a melee. So I can see why, maybe that's why I might be just your opinion is that way.
Someone said, or I read somewhere online, that part of the reasoning behind it is also because and this I think it's more of a tinfoil hat take, was that they this time around they had to split the budget because they had to do the Yarrick one and this one, whereas for the Leviathan they only had Leviathan to worry about, so they didn't have as much budget, and therefore it wasn't quite what they potentially could have done because they had two to support. I liked both. I liked the Yarrick one. I didn't mind this trailer.
No, I didn't mind it.
I do get the point in terms of what was revealed and stuff like that. But again, I think maybe to Glenn's earlier point right at the beginning, I think any time they do the animations now, they are always pretty good, and it is just more. I'm like, yep. I just want, give me this. This is good. Let's just play some Warhammer. Like that.
They've found the animators they like, haven't they? From like the Warhammer Plus series, it all looks pretty uniform now. It looks pretty good.
I think it is pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what else we get and how they expand upon it. Like, it's fine. I do think on this one it was much like darker. So like, even when you saw like the jump pack Marines, let's assume they're the Vanguard vets, like, it wasn't as like, wasn't in, because it's an Armageddon, it's like a dark, smoky, fiery world, whereas the Tyranid one was much brighter, even if
it's quite jungly, wasn't it?
Yeah. But as I said, I think it's fair. Was it as good as Leviathan? Maybe not. Was it good? Yeah,
it was exciting. It's got, and this is the thing. So, like, he's just said, and I think you've said it as well. It's the first time he's thought he's not going to buy the launch box. So this will be probably the first time I do buy a launch box in the 3 editions I've been playing, purely because I bought some Orc Boys and a War Boss under speculation that this was going to be the edition, and lo and behold, it is. So I know that you're not tempted.
Not this time round.
Although it's year, I know you keep lying and saying it's Year of the Wolf. Space Marines don't run with Necrons.
No.
And they don't run with the Thousand Suns either. So Glenn, can I tempt you to go halves on a battle box if you want some Space Marines?
Let me see. The Leviathan ones are still sitting in their frame.
But
in fact, they're still sitting in the box.
Shame. You love a pile of shame.
I do. God help me, I do. Let's just wait and see what the price of the box is. Right?
I'll take that as a penciled in yes.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't need any more. I'll never need any more.
Nobody needs more.
Yeah. Like I think I've bought every starter set since Dark Vengeance.
Yeah.
So what's that, about 7 or 8?
Yeah.
I think like the rationale for not doing it doesn't make any sense, because if you've been buying it every edition and not playing the game,
but that's the thing. I don't need to do it again. I've done it enough times. I don't need to do it again. I don't know. I might just genuinely wait for the rule book this time, and potentially, inevitably pick up a few of the bits and pieces that I like the look of.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't need any more Terminators. I didn't need a captain. Or I didn't need anything of that. But I still got the box, and
so what I'm
subsequently sold all of the Tyranids. So
yeah,
I might pick up. So if there's a specific model that I kind of go, yes, that is amazing, and the model for the inevitable chaplain with jump pack, if he looks good, I'll probably go on Trollhammer or something like that, or eBay, and pick him up separately.
Well, you don't need to go on eBay. I'll just send you the link to my eBay. Or if you're getting quick enough, I'll do it at next rates.
God knows I haven't given you stuff before.
Shit. You've got a good memory.
I think Shane's but the only person I haven't given stuff to.
No, you've given me a squad of Zangor.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very gratefully received as well. Still
Yeah.
not painted. Still not painted.
I gave John an entire army, and he had it that long. He gave it back.
I
Yeah,
I remember that.
there were plans, and then I thought I don't
Yeah.
have the skill or the patience to start this again.
I don't think I've even opened the box. So you could have given me back an empty army case, John. I wouldn't. It'll be different.
All I'll say is don't open that box. Right. Well, that was a good out. Oh, we should say
You
amazing.
lost again.
Huh?
That you lost again.
No. I won a
Well,
game,
you did.
and then within 24 hours, I lost a game. So
Yeah.
the losing streak ended,
It did.
and now it has rebegun.
Yes.
But now I can say I have on a losing streak of 1 rather than 5, and I feel
This
better
is
about
true.
that.
That's very true.
But it was a good game.
It was a good game, and it was a close game. It wasn't a it wasn't like all one-sided. It was like a lot of our games recently. They've been very to the end and required consistent mental load for the entire 3 hours that we've been playing. But yeah, it was a good game. It's a good game.
Yeah. Well, if we're wrapping up, we'll save it for next week because obviously you joined us for the first half or first 3 rounds of a game me and Shane played, but we haven't obviously caught up. So if nothing major gets announced over the next week, then next week we could use that as a jumping in point for someone who hasn't played 10th edition, who watched most of the game, and you can say what you thought about it before the edition's over.
Change everything.
and then it's irrelevant. But yeah, that's content for next time. Although we got to
give away the content.
Yeah. Well, it's just real people in who might not have played, be in the same boat as you. But you've got some guard stuff, or did you get rid of all that? You don't know.
I think I've only kept the Tempestus Scion stuff. The rest of the guard stuff went.
Right.
So I think I've got Tauruxes and Scions and maybe a Valkyrie or 2 floating around. Oh, and I think a Shadow Sword as well. Just because,
Yeah, why not?
Nothing says elite infantry army like a super heavy
massive tank
destroyer. Yeah. Yeah, like I know it's more in line with the Yarrick stuff, but yeah, I do quite like the new guard vehicles.
Yeah.
They're a
there's
little
some
bit
good stuff there.
Yeah, a little bit kind of not sure how it fits in, but yeah, it's cool.
It's always them allied to Grey Knights.
It always amazes me though that for the Imperium that doesn't invent new stuff, it's very good at inventing new stuff.
Yeah. Maybe they just found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, although Belisarius Core, he's cool. He's up for inventing. It's just on the down low.
Yeah, just send it out on the battlefields where it'll get blown up.
Yeah,
but it's not new.
He's not a heretic.
Not at all.
No one said that. Cool.
So, right. I guess as tradition, the last thing to talk about is I'm really annoyed that you've taken over me on combat cards. That came out of nowhere.
I mean, it's just consistent. It's not, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yeah, I'm out of breath.
Like it's,
I must admit, I looked at your scores, both of yous, and sort of had to go, what week are we in this?
Yeah.
I thought you should both hit like the top level by what, 8 days in?
Yeah, John went off like a freight train, and so it was like, okay, all right, got to because we've still got 14 days left.
Yeah,
and it's I'm position 162, which is like the highest I've been in a while. So that's
really?
That's not too bad. I'll take that.
People have caught up because the last time I checked, I think I was floating between 125 and 130, and then you took over me, and I just haven't been able to close the gap again. So I'm falling off. I don't think 81st edition winner is coming my way this time.
Yeah, you may. Well, I don't. Yeah, you know, you can keep going, keep giving it a go, but it's there's still plenty of time left. 2 weeks. It's you know.
Yeah, I got to pull my finger out because I will accept being beaten by Shane. I will not be beaten by John. That is diabolical.
Fantastic. Well, you've got that to look forward to as well, John.
That's it. 2 things for next week: Glenn's perspective of our game and who's winning combat cards. And guys, if you're watching and you want to join, if you download the game, Iron and Ceramite is the clan.
Yeah.
You're not going to beat me. You will.
There we go.
I lose everything.
Gauntlet is thrown. Very good.
Cool. Awesome. Right. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully we'll see you all next Sunday.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye.
Okay. We're out.
Nice.
That was a good one.